Okay. Hey, Paul.
How come I can't hear you?
You can hear me now? Can you hear me?
Hold on. Try that.
How about now? Can you hear me? No luck.
No, you
Can
can
you
hear
hear
me,
me?
right? Yeah, I can't get these things to.
Okay, because my sound is working.
Yeah, I can hear you through my audio, but not through my earbuds.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. We'll make that work.
It's usually automatic.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Dan.
So, all right. So, Paul, just
Yes.
to start, at the beginning of the meeting, ask everybody to mute themselves
Yes.
if they're not. And then, do you want me to go over the raise hand tool?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
because we're going to need that for the public hearing.
Right. So it's pretty easy. Just over when you have the participant, you just hover your mouse over it and over your name, and it should pop up the raise hand tool. So like if like I can raise my hand for this one, but it should be fairly straightforward for people. So if you want to just start, and then I don't know, I can give a quick.
Yeah, you can give a quick overview of that.
Yeah, maybe after doing, the who's present, just kick it to me and I'll make a quick announcement on that, and then you can just run right into the public hearings. And
Okay.
For you, we just need to delete item number 2 for the turf special permit for public hearings. Because we'll hear that it's already been closed.
So it's just 2 public hearings.
Yeah, so we're just striking the turf field from public hearings, and we'll hear the remaining stuff on
I think we're all in.
regular meeting.
Dan, where's the black video? Stock video?
What was that? Sorry.
I'm going to call it again.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure who I'm trying to help you. Nope, the chair. Hi, everybody. I would just ask everybody to mute themselves until you're ready to get further back.
Let's try this again. Can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear, Paul.
Okay, great.
Hi, this is Bill McCoy. I just wanted to make sure that I could be heard also. That's all.
Yes, we hear you, Bill.
Gotcha, Bill.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to mute again just to get off. Thank you.
Dan, the question I was going to ask you is, where is the video that I'll be using?
Oh, should turn the video off?
Right.
If you go next to your name, there's the mute button, and actually at the bottom, you see at the bottom there's mute and stop video.
Yes.
Just click stop video and click mute, and you'll be all set. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
You got all the exhibit lists from Kim, right? And then I sent you the three new things.
Yep. Yes, I
Okay,
do.
perfect. Okay, great.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
You got it.
Okay, great.
Never open. You can't ever.
Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine, we couldn't hear you there, Catherine, when you unmuted.
Can't hear you.
Katie, if you need to call in with your phone, that works. That's how you get my audio done.
Hi, can you hear
Call
me?
the phone number.
Yes.
Oh,
Now
we
we
can. Hey, Maria.
Dan, something I don't have is the legal notice for the first item on the public hearing. So you might have to read that.
Oh, for 21 Townwood?
Yes.
This is Alan Todd. I phoned in. Is that, you hearing me?
Jane, I will try
Yes.
to email that to you real quick.
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Ellen, can you hear us?
I hear you, yes, fine.
Okay. Barnes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. You're gonna be on audio only?
No, I'm gonna switch to video here. I just gotta kick my wife off Netflix. So give me a second. I'll be right back with you.
Okay. You don't have to be so honest, Mr. Barnes. Oh, there's Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Paul.
Did we already open the public hearing on sewer things, or is this the first hearing?
No, this will be the first hearing.
So I don't have a legal notice to read for that one either.
That one I don't. Okay, that one I'm gonna have to rummage up. Okay.
Oh, there's Jane. Boy, these thumbnails are going to get smaller and smaller.
Right.
Hi, Jane.
Hello, you're still administrator.
I know, I have no idea how that happened.
You're such a big mucky muck.
I don't think so. Not anymore, Jane.
It happens to all of us.
That's right.
It's good
Sometimes-
for our character.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
What?
Ooh.
That's all right, Jane. I became Harry Heller.
Worse things could happen.
You're correct. I'm going to go back on mute so I don't say anything more inappropriate, okay?
I guess I better too.
We haven't even begun the meeting and we're out of control. Okay, as soon as Dan gets back, we'll convene. Oh, there he is.
I see
I'm
'em.
used to seeing you up top.
Can you email those to me, Dan? Or are you just going to read them yourself?
I'm emailing you the first one. I'm trying to talk to Kim right now about the second one.
All right.
While you're busy, Katie, that was a really good email. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Agreed.
You're welcome.
You ruined my afternoon, but thank you.
I'm sorry to hear I ruined your afternoon.
Well, maybe ruin's not the word. Scary.
Such as it is. When you're on house arrest, even reading a 38-page report is a treat.
Okay. So let me see. I think we're ready to go. I'm just checking my
I'm working
members.
on the legal notice for the sewers. But if you want, you can start, and I'll try to get that done before you guys get there.
Where's Alan?
Alan is on audio only.
Okay.
Alan, you're still on, right?
I'm hearing you, yes.
Okay. So I'm looking at my members. Maria, Jane Marsh, Jane Cable, Alan Todd, missing, I don't see me, I see, but I don't see Tammy. Tammy's either, Tammy, are you on, but we can't just see you? No. So I see Mr. Barnes, I see Kathleen, I'm sorry, Catherine.
Katie. Katie.
And Katie, okay, Katie and Maria. So, okay, let's begin. Good evening. This is the November 2020 meeting of the Old Lyme Zoning Commission. At the virtual table, have permanent members Jane Marsh, Jane Cable, Alan Todd, myself, Paul Orzel. We have Katie Close, Michael Barnes, and Maria Martinez as alternates. For this meeting, the voting members will be the 4 permanent members, and I probably will seat at this point Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes? I see your face. I don't hear your voice.
He's on mute.
There you go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to be seated as a voting member tonight.
Okay.
Okay. So that'll make, the 5th will be Michael Barnes. For those who are on this call, and there are quite a few people on the call, may I please ask that you put yourself on mute so that we don't have to do sort of a carte blanche mute across the line. And this way we'll keep the background noise down. We won't have to stop. And Dan, do you want to review the raise hand feature once we get into public hearings?
Whatever you'd like. I could just quickly go over it now if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go over it now quickly.
Okay, basically it's very simple. If you'd like to make a comment while a presentation's going on, all your comments will be directed to the chairman or the board, all your questions, and then they will relay those for you. But to kind of indicate to me that you'd like to go, if you hover your mouse over your name on the participants list, you'll see a little hand next to it, and that's the raise hand tool. So just click on that if you're a member of the public and you'd like to get a question, and I'll try to get you in the order that people raise their hand as we go along. Okay?
Hey, Dan, how about if we're on the phone?
I don't know about that one. I'll look into it, and I'll try to get back to you after the first presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, let us begin. Ben? Public hearings. Our first public hearing is the special permit application to permit installation of a 5-foot fence around propane tanks, or a 4-foot fence is the maximum height on property located at 21 Townwoods Road. Peter Van June III is the applicant. Madam Secretary, where are you? There we are. Okay.
A legal notice I got has, let's see, centralized sewer on it, but it doesn't have anything about the 5-foot fence. So I don't really have a legal notice I can read about it.
Jane, I sent you the first one I thought was regarding the 5-foot fence.
No, it's the 10 Saltaire Drive, permit application for the sewer system. That's all there are on this one.
Okay, I have the other one. Do you want me to read that one?
Yes, you go ahead and read the legal notice. Why not?
Okay, sorry about that, Jane.
Nope.
Okay. So, notice is hereby given that the zoning commission of the town of Old Lyme will hold a public hearing at its regular meeting on Monday, November 9th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. via WebEx to consider and hear comments on the following. Special permit application for installation of a 5-foot fence around propane tanks where a 4-foot fence is maximum height on property located at 21 Town Woods Road. Peter Van June III, applicant. Do you want me to read the rest?
Well, I've got we can read them all if you want. If you've got them all, might as well.
Oh, yeah, I've got that one. Do you want to wait till the sewers till after this one is done?
No, let's read them all.
Okay.
Okay. And then notice is hereby given that the zoning commission of the town of Old Lyme will hold a public hearing at its regular meeting on Tuesday, October. Oh, that is the wrong one. That's the old one. Well, I'll just update it with the dates. Monday, November 9th, 2020 at 6:30 via WebEx to consider and hear comments on the following. Special permit application to permit a centralized gravity sewer system and associated improvements for the Old Colony Beach Club Association and the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association. And at the end, at this hearing, interested parties may be heard and written communications received. Copies of the applications are in the Land Use Office, 52 Lyme Street, Old Lyme, Connecticut, dated Old Lyme, Connecticut, this day, in November 2020.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll consider that a good legal notice reading. For the first matter, Georgia and Gary Mislick, we have 4 exhibits. The first is their special permit application dated September 15th. And a copy of a notice of variance granted on July 15th. D is the legal notice that Dan just read. C is a letter to Mr. Van Jern telling him to send out the notices via certified mail, and Exhibit D are the certified receipts. So that's what we have in the file right now.
Okay. So I'm looking at the paper here. We have the responses, Jane?
Well, I mean, all I got was the list of exhibits. I don't actually
List.
them, so I can't tell you whether they're
Right.
there.
I see the list as well. Yes, now, okay. Mr. Van June, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, all those papers should be down at the town hall now. They were all dropped off over 10 days ago for the
Yeah, we have to complete
Okay. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this public hearing? If you do, please state your name and your address. Jane.
You're on mute.
Then you got to unmute yourself. Jane, you got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I know. I'd like Mr. Van June to tell us about his project.
All right, we're planning on installing a 5-foot fence around 2 propane tanks. It should be about 6 feet long and 3 feet deep. It's going to be a vinyl white fence with a gate on the front.
Why do you need to go 1 foot above the allowed limit?
because the tanks are about 5 feet tall, so we want to cover the tanks completely so nobody can see them.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, if I could just interject real quick. Part of this was Mr. Van June had sought a variance on behalf of his clients for the 2 propane tanks since they did not meet setbacks. And one of the conditions of the ZBA was to have a 5-foot fence in front of the tanks to kind of shield them from public view.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Anyone else? Okay. In that case,
I can make a
may I
motion to
have,
close the public hearing on that one.
may I have a motion to close the public hearing on the application for 21 Townwoods?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That public hearing is now closed. So we are not.
Who motioned for the close and who
Jane
seconded?
Marsh motioned and Jane Cable second.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay. Now, the second item is that we're not addressing that right now because that public hearing is still open. On to item 3, which is the special permit application to permit a centralized gravity sewer system and associated improvements for the Old Colony Beach Club Association and the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association.
So, can I
at
just,
this point,
I'm just going to ask, why aren't we doing the second one?
that public hearing is still open, Jane?
But it's second on the list.
Yeah, Jane, I'm sorry. Paul should have. We went to amend the list. The turf field hearing was closed at the September meeting. It was continued at the October meeting because we did not receive feedback yet from Tom Metcalf, the town engineer. And so we should have amended the agenda to strike item number 2 and move number 3 to 2.
Okay. I'll move to strike it from our agenda.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All right. Okay. Mr. Barnes had his hand up first. He's second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. Opposed? Abstain? Okay. We have taken it off the agenda. The third item, which is the centralized gravity system. At this point, I will be recusing myself from this item which I feel is a conflict of interest, and I will turn the meeting over to our co-chair, Alan Todd, who will run the meeting until the public hearing on this has been closed. So, Alan, are you there?
I am here, and I think the first item of business is to pick another alternate to be a voting member for this discussion. Catherine, would you be available to do that? I'm asking Catherine, can you be a voting member for this discussion?
I'm not seeing her.
Yeah, Alan, she's muted with her camera off right now. I'm not sure if she might have stepped away for a moment.
Let's see here.
Well,
if not,
I'm texting with her now. Let me try here. Sorry.
then if she's not available, let's go to Maria.
Okay,
Oh, she's calling. Hold on.
just calling in.
Hello? She's on the call, but her mouse is frozen right now.
Hi, I'm here. Sorry. And I can be a voting member.
Maria, you can. Thank you.
That's
Can you
okay.
hear me?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Are we still in business?
Yeah, go ahead, Alan. Catherine seated for Paul now.
Okay, so Catherine is now the seated, okay. So then, I guess my next question would be, Jane Marsh, is there additional legal notice that needs to be read, or has it all been taken care of?
We took care of that,
Okay,
the legal notice. I can read the exhibits. Exhibit A is the special permit application, and that was dated September 8th, 2020, and amended September 30th, 2020. B was the full-size copies of drawing. Exhibit C is the legal notice. Exhibit D is letter to Mr. Otis with legal notice. Exhibit E is email to Mr. Otis. Letting him know letter to legal notices are in the mail. Exhibit F is certified mail tracking list. There were 483 letters sent out. And Exhibit G is a letter dated November 2nd, 2020 from William Reynolds, William Perone, and Ramona Smith in opposition to one aspect of the project. So those are all the exhibits I have listed here.
okay. So I guess at this point, we would open it up to whoever is going to be spokesman on behalf of this application. Let them take us through what they have planned.
That would be me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Otis. I'm a licensed professional engineer and an associate at Fuss & O'Neill. And I'd like to share my screen with you, if I might, and give you a presentation about this application.
Hi, Jim, not to cut you off, I just would ask anybody who is not muted at this time to mute themselves so that we can not have feedback during Jim's presentation.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
I
we
cannot.
can't, Jim.
I'm sorry?
Nobody can see it.
Okay, let me try again here.
And just so people know, you can use your space bar to mute and unmute.
I'm having technical difficulties here, I guess. Hold on, please.
We can see it now.
What do you see?
Yeah, we can see it.
What do you see? Like, is it a big slide, a PowerPoint slide? Okay, and
Yes.
very good. I will proceed. And all you see on the screen is the slide itself. You don't see the notes and everything else, right?
That's correct.
Thank you. All right. Again, for the record, my name is James Otis. I work at Fuss & O'Neill in Manchester, Connecticut, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicants to provide the commission with a fairly detailed overview of the special permit application. Kurt Mailman and Doug Brzee of Fuss & O'Neill are also on the line to help answer questions that may come up. By way of background, the Old Colony Beach Club Association, the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association, and the Miami Beach Association proposed to build public sanitary sewer systems within, excuse me? These associations proposed to build public sanitary sewer systems within their respective association areas and collaborate to build a shared sewer that'll be used by all of these associations to convey sewage to a wastewater treatment facility in the city of New London. A public sewer system is needed because the use of on-site sewage treatment systems is no longer adequate to protect the environment and the public health in Old Lyme on a long-term basis. And so these three associations entered into a unified consent order with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection in 2018 to abate pollution in their respective communities. The town-controlled Sound View area, which is located here between Miami Beach Association and the Old Colony Beach Association, has its own consent order with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. And it will also utilize the proposed shared sewer infrastructure to convey sewage to the wastewater treatment plant in the city of New London. This graphic shows the regional sewer system that will convey wastewater from the beach associations and Sound View through existing and proposed sanitary sewers through the towns of East Lyme, Waterford, and New London, eventually getting to the Piacente Municipal Wastewater Treatment Plant. This special permit application, which is before the commission, includes proposed sanitary sewer improvements in the Old Colony Beach Club Association and Old Lyme Shores Beach Association. That's the areas shown in green and pink on this graphic. Also proposed storm drainage and roadway improvements in these two beach association areas. The application includes, is somebody asking a question, or maybe they should be on mute? The application also includes a shared sewer bioxide odor control facility at 308 Gordon Avenue, which is in this area, north of Route 156. A shared gravity shorefront trunk sewer and flow meters located generally between the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association area and Portland Avenue. And actually, these three squares that you may be able to see on your screen, located near the bottom of the graphic, represent flow meters that are being proposed and are included in this application. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle here in terms of this application is the shared sewer force main in Portland Avenue that runs from Pond Road and Shore Road, which is also known as State Route 156. The shared sewer pump station that I just mentioned, located at 73 Portland Avenue, here was previously permitted under a special permit from this commission in 2019, and it's therefore not a part of this application. Similarly, the proposed force main in State Route 156, located here on the plan, which runs east and west, is not included in this application because this is a state highway and it falls within the jurisdiction of the DOT. Your local wetland commission did approve this force main a year or two ago because the DOT does not regulate wetlands as part of their utility review. And finally, the proposed sanitary sewer, storm drainage, and roadway improvements in the Miami Beach area, this yellow area, we have a blue X through it, as well as the sewer improvements in the Sound View area, are not included in this application. This slide shows, I'm going to start off talking about the Old Colony Beach Club Association. This slide shows some of the proposed roadway improvements that are proposed in the southern half of the Old Colony Beach Club Association, including roadway paving, repaving. The widths will be 16 to 20 feet wide, speed humps to help slow down vehicular traffic, stop bars, and yellow centerline striping. This slide depicts a typical Old Colony Beach Club Association sanitary sewer improvements. These are sanitary sewer plan and profile view. This one for Gorton Avenue. And it depicts 8-inch PVC gravity sewer mains in the streets and sewer lateral stubs, sanitary sewer lateral stubs up to the front property line of the houses. This plan and profile sheet for Gorton Avenue depicts a typical Old Colony Beach Club Association storm drainage system improvement and roadway grading. Catch basins and underground drain pipes will be installed in the portion of the association closest to the beach, the low-lying area down near Hartung Place. Let me see if I can get my pointer going. Just by way of orientation, north is to the right. This is State Route 156 is up in this direction, and this is the shoreline. And the area where storm drainage improvements will be made in this association are close to the low end of the lower elevation area. And so storm drainage piping and catch basins are going to be installed to help reduce flooding near or in the south end of Gorton Avenue, the south end of Green Avenue, along the length of Hartung Place, and the south end of Brookside Avenue right away near the Sheffield Brook outfall. And now I'm going to use this graphic again to start talking about the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association improvements. Again, the area in pink is Old Lyme Shores Beach Association. And the green lines in this pink area represent the sanitary gravity sewers, which will convey flow by gravity down the streets. There will be some storm drainage system improvements near the south end of the association, roadway repaving, and an association storage shed and bioxide odor control facility in Old Lyme Shores Beach Association at 308 Gorton Avenue. So once again, this is a similar map to what you saw before. This shows you know, some of the roadway improvements. The roadway repaving widths will be 17 to 18 feet wide, and there'll be proposed speed humps throughout the roads. This map shows another example of sanitary sewer plan and profile sheets in Billow Road. Again, 8-inch PVC sanitary sewers are proposed through the street. Sanitary sewer lateral stubs up to the front property lines of the houses as well. And if you look real close, I know the picture's small, you can see, you know, this dark square is one of the speed tables or speed bumps that I mentioned earlier. There will also be storm drainage improvements in the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association area. Again, this plan is an example of drainage systems and grading at the south end of Billow Road. Catch basins and underground drain pipes will also be installed to reduce flooding in Sea Spray Road, Saltair Drive, Bridgewater Road, and Bel Air Road. Town street easements were approved at a recent Board of Selectmen meeting to provide utility access for the sewer project located in public municipal roadways. And these areas are shown in gray. Hawks Nest Road near Miami Beach Association here on the left is one of the gray areas. Portland Avenue is a proposed easement or an existing easement there. Hartford Avenue and Swan Avenue and Gorton Avenue. So those areas are areas that and have obtained easements to build the sewers. In addition, easements have been negotiated with private properties and with the Old Lyme Shore Beach Association to construct shared sewer infrastructure on private properties. And those areas are designated as areas 1, 2, and 3 down in this portion of the association, and area 4 up in the Gorton Avenue area. One of the private properties that will be used for shared sewer infrastructure is the Oline Shores Beach Association parcel. The association owns it at 308 Gorton Avenue, which I referred to as Area 4 in the previous map. This 0.94 acre parcel was currently occupied by an existing shed that the association uses for storage and an old paved basketball court. In addition to replacing the shed at this site, the applicant is proposing to install a bioxide odor control facility. This site was selected for a bioxide facility because it's located outside the 100-year floodplain, which is shown in blue on the figure on this slide. If you look carefully, you can see that the beach association areas are out of the association areas are occupied by the 100-year flood limit. And so one of the site selection criteria for this is to locate it outside the blue area. And so that's one of the reasons why the bioxide facility is proposed up on Gorton Avenue up here, shown on the screen in front of you. A second criteria for site selection is it needs to be located near the sanitary sewer force main, which you may recall is in Route 156. A third selection criteria for picking a location for the bioxide facility is it needs to be easily accessible to facilitate maintenance and access. And the site on Gorton Avenue is very close, and you'll see on the site plan that I'm going to pull up to State Route 156. These criteria
I'm sorry. James, I'm sorry. I just need to interject. Is anyone else having an audio, or is it just me? I'm having trouble hearing you chopping in and out. I don't know if it's just my computer or if everybody is having that problem.
Me too. I'm having a hard time too.
It's very like James. We're catching every fifth word. I don't know if your how far away you are from your microphone. I just wasn't sure if it was me, but I'm definitely having difficulty understanding.
Thank you, Michael. All right, thank you, Michael. I will talk louder and closer. I'm about a foot away from the microphone. Hopefully this is better. I will talk
as of right now.
I will talk slower and with diction. So these criteria explain also why the proposed bioxide facility cannot be located at the shared sewer pump station at 73 Portland Avenue, which is in the coastal high hazard area. Section 4.4.6.5 of your zoning regulations do not allow facilities with any chemical storage to be located within the coastal high hazard area. And you know, that regulation also references things like road salt and fertilizer. So the bioxide facility could not be sited in the blue area. This is a site plan for the proposed bioxide facility at 308 Gorton Avenue. The bioxide facility will include a 12-foot by 16-foot odor control building to house the equipment and bioxide storage tank, and a bioxide injection line, which is basically a 1-inch gravity pipe feed, will also be installed and run from the building to a sanitary sewer manhole in Route 156. The only chemical that will be stored at this site is a calcium nitrate salt liquid. This bioxide solution adds nitrate to the wastewater to control dissolved sulfide and reduce odors. And in addition to reducing odors, this solution helps reduce the potential for concrete corrosion in the sanitary sewer system, manholes, and other infrastructure. There will be no above ground storage or underground piping of any hazardous material or any hazardous waste at this site. The bioxide product is not hazardous waste and not hazardous material. 24 bioxide systems have already been installed and are in use in 16 different Connecticut municipalities. And I can list those on the record if you guys are interested in hearing the towns. Does anyone want me to run through the list?
No, thanks.
Nevertheless, the bioxide storage area and injection line have been carefully designed. The bioxide liquid will be stored in an above-ground double-walled storage tank inside the bioxide building. This graphic shows, the equipment, the tank. So it'll be sheltered from the weather. In addition, this double-walled tank, and it'll hold 2,550 gallons, it provides built-in secondary containment to prevent spills in the event of a leak. So it's a double-walled tank that can, if the inner wall leaks, the outer wall will contain all that liquid. And in addition to secondary containment on the tank, there's also a containment system on the pump skid system. That is, the area below the tank is a skid, and that skid can also contain any leakage from the primary or the secondary tank should one occur. Leak detection is provided within the sump of the pump skid and will disable a pump operation in the event any leakage reaches the pump skid system. Finally, the bioxide feeder pipe in Gorton Avenue, which I mentioned earlier, which will run from the building to a sanitary sewer manhole on Route 156, will be double walled as well. Basically a small pipe inside of a bigger pipe, so that if the inner pipe ever develops a leak, the second outer pipe will capture and continue to convey that product into the sanitary sewer manhole. Finally, the bioxide chemical feed pumps that will operate inside the building will be electric and operate. They'll be very quiet. They'll be inside an enclosed building, so noise will not be an issue. The reasons for locating the bioxide station where we show it on this site plan are as follows. First, the existing shed and driveway are already located here where we're showing the proposed driveway. So we're not disturbing a new or larger area or creating more new impervious areas. Secondly, the proposed location requires less site grading and little or no roadway and drainage system improvements at Gorton Avenue. Third, the proposed location provides the shortest run for the bioxide feed line to the sewer in Route 156 and minimizes the potential for the feed line to pass within 75 feet of private water wells, which are located on Gorton Avenue farther to the north. And I'm going to see if I can, there are private wells in this area, and by locating the driveway here, our bioxide feed line does not come within 75 feet of any wells on this road. Also, the driveway location shown provides ample space for turning movements for site driveway access and egress. A bioxide delivery truck, similar in size and appearance to a residential oil delivery truck, will deliver bioxide to the site, and it needs to be able to pull into the driveway and pull out and turn in the road as it comes and goes. And finally, by locating the facility in the corner of the property, as we show it here, there would be that leaves more room to the north undeveloped for any future use that the association might have for this. This is what the 12-foot by 16-foot odor control building will look like. I know it's hard to see on your screen. This photo was taken at the site, the proposed bioxide site in, I believe, 2019. And you can see the existing Olime Shores Beach Association storage shed and the old asphalt basketball court that's there. This is a rendering of what the proposed facility will look like. The 12-foot by 16 odor control building and 12-foot by 20 prefabricated association storage shed will be surrounded by a 6-foot fence. The existing impervious basketball court surface will be removed and replaced with a lawn area and or semi-pervious brick pavers as shown in this rendering. And the total impervious area will actually decrease as a result of the proposed development. because we're getting rid of that asphalt basketball court. This is what the proposed 12-foot by 20-foot prefabricated shed, Old Lyme Shores Beach Association shed, will look like. The special permit application also includes the, you may recall, the proposed shared force main in Portland Avenue from the shared pump station near Pond Road, which is located on the west end of this graphic. And I'll point to it with the laser. When I point to it with the laser, I notice that it gets shorter. And so the proposed force main extends from the pump station, which already got a special permit, north in Portland Avenue until we reach State Route 156. And lastly, this is the last one of the last slides I'm going to talk about. The special permit application, you may recall, also includes a shared gravity shorefront trunk sewer in Pond Road from Portland Avenue, which is shown over here on the left, east through Pond Road and Hardtongue to Brookside Avenue near the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association limit. Flow meters are proposed along this same shorefront trunk sewer between Portland Avenue and Old Lyme Shore Beach Association. These flow meters will allow each association to understand how much flow they're contributing to the shared sewer infrastructure. Before it all mixes together, they're gonna meter the flow from their association so that the bills can be apportioned appropriately. Lastly, I just want to point out that Fuss & O'Neill has not received any written review comments from town staff yet. However, Kurt Mailman, Doug Brzee, and I are available here tonight to answer questions that the commission might have about this application or to listen to any comments that the public has. And with that, I thank you for your attention, and I will try to stop sharing I'll leave my screen up for now in case somebody wants to refer to something on it.
If possible, can you go back to the screen that you shared where it shows the like the site plan almost on the property line, and wish you had a bigger view so we can see the neighbors' houses around. I'm kind of looking at like the GIS map right now and just trying to see. I guess you had another. Yeah, there we go. The well setbacks and stuff. So. Can you go through the points that you made out again on why you're putting where you're putting it and why you're putting it there again? There's like 4 or 5 bullet points you had.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Yeah.
You want to know why we located the Bioxide facility where we did on the property?
Yeah, as like, you know, as opposed to being on the opposite end of the property, furthest away from everybody's homes.
Yeah, let me go back to Yep, let me go back to my notes on that. Whoops, I'm gonna go back to hold on. I got a bunch of stuff on my screen.
That slide.
Yep, I can. Let me give me a second here. All right. One more thing. All right. Can you see the slide? I'm going to zoom in on it. Whoop.
Yes.
All right. So we located the Bioxide facility where we show it in the corner here because the existing shed and driveway are already in this location. And so by putting the Bioxide facility here, there's less disturbance of a new area or a larger area. And will be, so we're basically just disturbing an area that's been previously disturbed. This location also will require less site grading and little or no roadway and drainage system improvements. If we were to locate the Bioxide facility in a different location, say farther up Gordon Avenue, we'd have to modify the storm drainage system and perhaps modify the street somewhat. Also, the driveway location shown here provides ample space for a truck to pull in to the driveway and pull out of the driveway. If we were to move the driveway, all the way north on Gordon Avenue, a truck would not be able to pull in and out of that driveway very effectively. I'm going to see if I can get a better plan up on your screen here. I know I can. Hold on 1 second.
I think a good perspective might be a GIS map or even Google Maps. I mean, just for another perspective besides, I don't know if there's a way to get another perspective visually, because the reasons that I'm hearing for not wanting to move it aren't, I don't know, seem pretty weak in their response. Like, I would rather see an area disturbed a little bit more and the location move further away from a budding property is closer to a train track where there's going to be less disturbance.
Okay.
The excuse that the truck can't turn around or back around, I feel is not a really valid argument, because I know the truck backs in driveways all the time.
Yeah. And let me point out one more thing, and that is I mentioned the proposed location provides the shortest run for the Bioxide feed line, and it minimizes the potential for the feed line to encroach within 75 feet of the well protection area. I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but can you, in the middle of the screen, the 310 and 306 Gordon Avenue have wells in the front yard, and there's a circle drawn on this map 75 feet from the wells. By locating the Bioxide facility where we are and putting the feeder line for the Bioxide product, which goes to the nearby sanitary sewer manhole on Route 156, we're not passing through the within 75 feet of these existing wells on Gordon Avenue. So that's really, I don't know if you can see that. That's a main reason or a big reason why we did that.
I could see that, but is there any reason why that main can't just go through the middle of the lot instead of the middle of the road, and then it would be out of those setbacks?
In other words, locate the facility farther north and do something with the line on the parcel itself in order to get to the manhole.
Well, like in essence, like you could basically take your diagram and shift it over to the opposite side of the screen and have your sewer main coming out. I don't know how this thing's set up, and I'm not trying to redesign it. I understand you can't bring it down the middle of the road, but you have a pretty big, long lot there. And I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like the neighbor to the first house in there on the right, like they're at a significant disadvantage having this facility potentially next to their property, where that might alleviate some of these concerns. And just my perspective anyway. Is there a way to accomplish it by getting that sewer main across without hitting these wells and still achieving your goal?
Well, I guess the other balancing act associated with this is if we move the driveway all the way to the end here of the road. Right now, a truck to get in and out of the site needs to pull in, pull out, and then proceed this way. So there needs to be some section of roadway beyond this driveway so the truck can turn around in the road, if that makes sense. In other words, we can't put this driveway at the end of Gordon Avenue because the truck won't be able to turn around very easily. So I understand your comment and your question, and we'll wait to see what the town engineer has to say about that. Like, we haven't gotten his comments, but I made a note of your question and your comment about that.
So I have a question to follow up kind of on Michael's comment. So in building this plan with the facility set, in this location, I can't imagine that there weren't other alternate sites that were proposed before landing on this one. Can you share what the other sites were?
I'm going to let either current mailman who's on the line with me or Doug Brazita pipe in. They may have information about that.
So this is Kurt Mailman. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the site was really selected primarily because it was outside of the floodplain, as Jim mentioned. Okay, so it needed to be north of 156. It wants to be as close to the pump station as is practicable. Okay, so given the fact that the association had the access and rights to that site and wouldn't need to garner an easement, which we found out for several of the private easements has been really difficult to obtain, it made a lot of sense given that they weren't using that site for anything other than basketball court and a storage shed anyways, to take advantage of that as the primary site. So we didn't go through 40 different sites to look for it. It met the criteria that we were looking for. We did originally want to place it at the pump station site, but that was a non-starter for us. And I just wanted to follow up a little bit on the discussion about moving the site further to the north on the same property. I'm not certain that if the site moved to the other side near the railroad tracks that that the other property owner that's adjacent, property number 310, might be aggrieved in some respects as well, because their driveway abuts Gorton Ave as well in that same vicinity. So I'm not sure that you're actually getting any huge benefit by moving it from in front of one property to in front of the other.
It's something that's a lot closer to 303 than it would be to 310.
Mr. Chairman, is
I
this the
I don't know.
is this the public hearing aspect, or is this just a committee? Can you hear me?
This is for the chair people to speak. We will open it up to the public later.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to follow up on that. I read through the petition that was submitted by neighboring property owners. What is your take on their statement that this parcel of property is dedicated to recreational purposes?
Hey, Jane, that's a deed restriction, and in speaking with the town attorney, the town is not involved in enforcement of deed restrictions on many levels, not just this one. So, I guess they can give you a response, but that's not really in the purview of the zoning commissioner or the town as far as this application goes.
I have a problem with zoning approving a use that violates a deed restriction. I'd like that settled before zoning makes a decision.
Would you want me to get a memo from Matt Willis, the attorney?
That would help.
Okay.
I'd like the applicant to explain where is the odor coming from that he's concerned about? Where would the odor be generated?
Jane, I can't hear you.
So I don't have my mic muted.
Sorry, Harry Heller, for some reason, when you unmute yourself, we're getting bad feedback.
I did, however, want to make a response to Ms. Cable's comment, just to say this. Ms. Cable, as part of this application, there is a legal opinion within the application as well, which I think addresses the issue. But I do agree with Mr. Bourret, and again, for the record, this is William McCoy as opposed to Harry Hauer. The Mr. Bourret, I think, is also correct that the issue of deed restrictions is not within the purview of the commission. However, having said that, I have provided a legal opinion as part of the application.
Yeah, we'll have to follow up with that now with Matt, the town attorney, and he'll provide a memo, and the commission can take the matter from there. And also, I guess quickly to address the lack of comment from the town engineer, he's still going through this project. He did not have get to a place where he felt comfortable that he could submit his comments. So we will work with Fuss and O'Neill to provide that for you. And I guess my recommendation at that point would be to leave the public hearing open when you're done with your discussion tonight, so that we can get that feedback back to you next meeting and discuss that thoroughly.
Could Mr. Otis please explain where are the odors that are being controlled? Where are they expected to come anywhere out in this system? Is it anywhere in the town of Old Lyme, or is it further along in the pipe?
The inside the pipe itself, the force main that goes from Portland Avenue to East Lyme, the bioxide would drip into that into the sewer system, and it would control odors within the pipe and the manhole.
So this is further along in the system. There won't be odors near the property where the bioxide is being put in.
Excuse me, this is Kurt Mailman. Can I address the commission, please? To lend some additional information regarding odor control. Is that acceptable? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's really a actually a four-pronged odor control piece that is the town of East Lyme was very concerned at the onset of the project about H2S corrosion and odors, and they've had some issues in Waterford. I'm not sure if you're privy to the issues that they've had with some concrete pipes there in Waterford on that long trunk line that Jim described earlier, which is the primary route that goes from the associations all the way to the Piacenti treatment facility in New London. So they were very concerned, and part of the intermunicipal agreement was to limit the discharge amount of H2S, hydrogen sulfide, in the vapor phase at the discharge manhole into East Lyme. So there are effectively four methods of odor control that are implemented as part of this system. At the pump station itself, given that we couldn't put the bioxide station there, there is an aeration wand with a compressor which aerates the sewage, okay, and keeps it, and this is kind of an oxymoron word, but keeps it fresh, okay? The odors emanate from the sewage when it gets stagnant or septic, essentially. So one of the keys is to add aeration at the site. So inside the wet well, where the wastewater discharges in from all the associations, there's a wand there with a compressor that aerates the liquid. Furthermore, the off gases during pumping of that wet well run through an impregnated carbon scrubber unit, okay, before the wastewater gets evacuated to the force main. The third prong of the odor control system is the bioxide system, which we spent a fair amount of time discussing today, which has its injection quill, and that effectively, the nitrate salts prevent the H2S corrosion from occurring. But even that, we were concerned that with such a long detention time potentially in that force main, because it's almost 3 miles long at the discharge, we also wanted to make sure that there weren't any odors emanating from the effervescing of the sewage when it gets pumped out of the discharge of the force main. So at the on the East Lyme side, there's another what's called a vortex manhole, which aerates and distributes the wastewater further and creates more oxygenation of the wastewater as it discharges into East Lyme. And it will be monitored there as part of the intermunicipal agreement. The maximum discharge is 15 milligrams per liter, and the average is 5. So it's a very strict and robust system of many points of odor control. Does that explain it well enough? I hope.
Yes, but I'm now understanding that at the pump station down by the water, there will be one potential odor discharge into the air. Is that correct?
When the air gets evacuated, when the makeup air for the pumps gets evacuated, it will go through a carbon scrubber unit. So there won't be, it will run through the effective scrubber, so it shouldn't be an odor issue at the pump station either.
Right. And is there any anything that goes to the air in this building with the Bioxide odor control device in it?
There are metering pumps, but the discharge rate of the Bioxide system is very low. So it's gallons per day. It's not, hundreds of gallons per minute. So it's a very small discharge amount. And so that 2,500 gallon tank is sized so that it will, carry months worth of liquid for the, for the injection. That pipe, the tubing pipe is very small in comparison to the force main, which is 10 inches in diameter.
So no one should expect to smell anything at that location.
Correct.
Okay. And the power source for that building is just right off the utility lines?
Correct. Yeah, it's a low voltage installation. They're very small metering pumps. The size of the pumps themselves is probably maybe 1 foot cube, something of that effect. They're very small and they sit on the pedestal. It's in the detail if you want to bring it up, Jim.
That's all right. I just was thinking about a power loss, but it doesn't sound like that would be critical immediately.
Correct.
I can bring up I have the site plan. You want me to bring up the detail sheet, correct?
Only, I don't think it's necessary.
No.
Okay.
Is it possible for you to put any kind of vegetative screening on the side next to 303?
Yeah, that's a possibility. We have a 6 foot PVC fence around this facility, but you're talking about between the fence and the property line?
Yeah, something that would just make so that that home, which is so very close, doesn't have to, maybe you like the PVC fence, but they might not like it.
I think the applicant would be willing to consider that as a condition of approval or otherwise, as a comment from town staff.
Is this facility being leased by the other beach communities, or I'm not sure if you're able to comment on the arrangement of how this works into the sewer plans,
There is an easement shown. I'll let Kurt or Doug explain in more detail, but the A2 boundary map that I put up was also an easement map, and it depicted the easement that'll be granted from the Old Lyme Shores Beach Association area to the shared sewer associations, so that because it's a shared sewer facility, folks from the other associations would be able to stop in if necessary and have access to it since they're helping to pay for it, and that's discharging bioxide to the shared sewer infrastructure.
Okay, so like the town, if and when the town does sewers down Soundview, they would also have a portion of this maintaining the cost in this system. I'm just trying to get a little bit more clear, and I apologize, I'm not understanding completely. I understand the easements, I understand Old Colony and Old Lyme Shores are together with that. But so Old Colony Beach is sharing the cost of this development on this property? Or are you guys leasing something to them?
Michael, can I address that? This is Kurt Mailman. Can I address that question?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so there is a document which is called the cost sharing agreement, which defines the ownership and maintenance of all of the components of the shared infrastructure project. Okay, so there's a group called the cost sharing agreement members, which will ultimately operate and maintain all of the pieces of the shared infrastructure. So they would be responsible for the force main, the bioxide station, the pump station, the shared trunk line that runs along the shorefront, all of that infrastructure. Okay, the town has recently agreed to join the cost sharing agreement if certain conditions are met, and primarily it's if when they sign their intermunicipal agreements with the downstream entities to convey flow and treat it. And so to answer your question, all of the cost sharing agreement members will be responsible for that, for the upkeep and maintenance of that and operation of that site.
So I think I have a question that you're probably the one to answer too, which is you have a fixed number of residences that are now going to be served by this system, and you have all the laterals and everything drawn in. Is there something that sets that as the absolute limit of what this system is going to have to serve?
So if I'm understanding your question correctly, you're asking about the total capacity of the pumping system itself, not the bioxide station, right?
No, I'm asking, once all the properties that are connected to this sewer are connected with the homes on them, is there anything that limits, say, further development of any one of these lots or adding houses in these areas, or something that prevents them from getting more and more intense use of this same system?
Okay, so I can answer most of that question. Okay, what I can't answer is anything with regard to the Soundview Association. Okay, because they have a separate they've done a separate state evaluation through the SEPA process, right? The three associations, Old Lyme Shores, Old Colony, and Miami Beach, are subject to the state agencies' collective reviews of the environmental reports, which state that the project is a community pollution abatement project and is not designed to encourage additional growth. Okay, and so the funding of the project is tied to the sewer service area plans, which exclude any vacant parcels that couldn't cite a code compliant septic system on them from being connected. So
I think I believe the zoning approval limited the number of homes to be served.
the facilities plan that was approved by the state, went through the SEPA process through all the state agencies, and it was very well understood that the premise behind the project was to abate a community pollution problem and not to encourage additional growth.
But I also believe that zoning specifically located it to the existing number of houses.
When would you have done that?
That's a strong bell that's ringing in my head, and that was several years ago.
Well,
in addition, just to qualify the statement a little more, in addition, the agreements with the downstream entities for both capacity and for treatment are predicated on no additional growth. Okay. So those flows that are approved in the intermunicipal agreements with East Lyme and New London, are predicated on a certain amount of flow rate. So again, it's another measure to ensure that growth is minimized or non-existent.
Well, I do understand. I just was under the impression that there were some limits imposed by the clean water funding that you got. And I've never seen it written down. I've never seen what those limits are. And it sounded like you were in your first response just now, you were explaining it. And I'm wondering, is there something that you could provide to the commission that would show us exactly how those limitations are worded?
Yes, it's in the record of decision actually from the DEEP.
Could you provide that to us?
Sure.
Great.
That's not me, by the way.
I have a comment for the shed that's existing. Is that currently being used? I understand you want to use the existing impervious, but from the photos shown, it doesn't seem like there were existing curb cuts. I would be interested to see a truck turning template, and if the driveway was to be located more north, what that limit might be for how far north it could go, since from the photo and Google Earth, it doesn't seem like there is an existing curb cut. So no matter what is going to be done, impervious is going to have to be added. And then if the association is later on going to, add another basketball court or shed, it seems like the existing shed and basketball court being located next to that residential house is more preferred.
Yes, Jim Otis here. Yeah, we do have a truck turning template that shows the truck movement at the existing driveway. And Katie, we could provide that information so that you could see, how much room it takes and how far the driveway could move in order for that movement to continue.
May I speak, please? My name is Bill Reynolds.
Hi, Bill. Could you
Hello?
just wait until the commission gets their questions answered, and then we'll move it on?
No, I'm having a hard time hearing things, but I would like to voice my opinion on some of this. If you give me a moment, whenever
Bill,
I get the chance.
Bill, you'll get your opportunity, Bill. Bill, I think you will get an opportunity.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And is the shed being existingly used? And is there a future need for the shed?
Hi, I've been told that the shed is used to store Old Lyme Shore Association items, signs, and so forth. And Yes, I believe the association wants to continue this activity. They want to eliminate the shed that's there and put a new one. For that type of use. I don't know the details of what's inside the shed. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm told signs and so forth that the association uses. They
I'm not sure if he's still.
Me?
I don't know who's talking, but it cut out like a minute ago.
it's
Bill Reynolds.
Bill.
Hey, you, Bill.
This is Jim Otis. I was answering a question about whether the existing shed is being used by the association and what it's used for. And I've been told the association uses it to store miscellaneous equipment like signs. And I think the question.
Yeah, I got that. No, I'm sorry. I got that.
All right.
Yeah, you're good on that. Would it be possible to get some truck diagrams for if this potentially was sited on the northern part of the property? For these truck diagrams that you're talking about? I know you had one on the existing curb cut, but is there any, or existing area, is it possible to get like one shown if you were to place that building at the other end of the property?
I think we can provide the information that Katie asked for. I think we'll answer that same question. So the short answer is yes, we can provide you with a graphic and then we can talk about it once you have it in front of you.
I understand. I'm just confirming you can provide it for the other potential building area if the building wasn't located where it was, but if it was further down the lot like we were discussing.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell from the diagram, I think, how far north the driveway could potentially move. And, the town engineer is familiar with looking at these things and would be able to, I think, answer your question if you weren't able to discern it from the information we provide.
Why can't
I don't need
it in commercial zone. I got muted again.
Well, I don't need the town
opportunity, Bill. Old
tight. I don't know who's talking here. I'm sorry, James. I just want to be clear. So yeah, you already have a current illustration showing the current curb truck turnaround area. You do have another one showing it if it was further north. Is that my understanding or not? I'm sorry. There's just so much cutting in and out. I'm not sure if I'm getting the answer.
I do not have a sketch now that shows the truck turning movement if the driveway was located further north, but I do have a illustration that shows how much room it takes for the truck to turn in the driveway as proposed. And that diagram, once you see it or the town engineer sees it, you'll be able to, it will answer your question. So let me get you the information and then the commission or the town engineer can ask more questions. It's kind of hard to explain without giving it to you.
For the new curb cut, has this gone before the planning commission or, because I believe the planning commission would approve any new curb cuts and this would be a new curb cut on the road, wouldn't it?
Hey, Catherine, I can answer that for you. No, curb cuts are controlled by Public Works and myself, chiefly Public Works stuff.
Thank you.
May I speak yet, Dan?
Not yet, Bill. Wait for Alan. Alan's running the meeting right now. He'll, ask the commissioners if they have any more questions. After that point, we're going to discuss the town engineer's memo or lack thereof.
It's not a question. I hear people talking. I hear people talking about this Bioxide thing, and
Bill,
I don't even
Bill,
know if
those
they
are
know
all
what the field
commissioners.
is.
Bill, you gotta work with the meeting here, or I'm gonna have to mute you.
Okay, I'm doing the best I can. It's in my
I
front
know.
yard.
Hang tight, Bill. Hang tight. Alan, do you want to see if anybody else has any other questions, or?
I just have one last question that I'm not sure I got an answer to. And my question is, was the alternate site discussed? Should the current site that's being proposed not work out? I'd like to know what was the alternate site that was considered.
This is, can I address that? This is Kurt Mailman.
Sure.
So the only other site that was considered was the site where the Sheffield Brook area is, where the meandering swale is in just north of the Sheffield Brook outfall, because it was owned as owned by Old Colony as part of their site. But it was the site has a restriction on it based on the fact that it was issued as part of a floodplain restoration grant, and it has a covenant on it from any use or pipes on that site. So that was the other site that was evaluated.
Thank you.
How close is the dioxide from the closest dwelling? Do you have like I was looking through your plans. I don't see. Maybe that map that showed the 303, the 310. I just didn't see the dwelling located for 303. Let's see. Okay, there it is. I'm sorry. I see it now. All right. So what's the offset from the corner of 303 to the dioxide building?
I'm just eyeballing it. There's a graphic scale on it. It looks to be 20 or 25 feet.
Okay. Also,
25 feet.
I got that part on the 25 feet. If I understand, one of the other reasons was you want to have, be close to the forced main. Is there any reduction in quality of how this system's going to work if it was located, say, another 100 feet further north?
This is Kurt Mailman. I can answer that question. The pump horsepower might need to change somewhat because the longer distance and pumping friction loss. But I'm not sure that it's a. I'm not sure that it's
okay. So answering that question is no.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what the change would be off the top of my head, but there might be a change.
Understood. Okay. But it can potentially be placed further away from all these dwellings and still meet getting out of the well setbacks and still accompany another truck if it wasn't located where it was located. I'm having a problem with where it's located just because it's literally 20 feet away from someone's home. And I understand wherever you move it, it's always going to be closer to another home, but it's not going to ever be 25 feet close.
I think the turning template for the truck.
Did anyone else hear that question, or is it just me?
I was trying to address it. This is Kurt. I think the turning template from the truck might tell the tale in terms of what your flexibility is in terms of getting, moving that in a northerly direction. And we don't have that template in front of us right now for moving it towards the north, but I think that will be a major component.
Trucks and trailers every day for a living, and looking at it from a Google map or a GIS map, and even knowing that I used to live right across the street from where this site is, or as far as the street on Gorton, I know there's plenty of room to move this building down further and have it be less of an inconvenience to all the surrounding neighbors. And I don't mean to keep hammering home on that, but I feel like the location is not the best location if it is going to be sited on this lot. I feel that there's room for improvement in your application to make a better location on that site. Personally, I don't know how my other commission members feel, but I think you can meet the criteria of getting out of the well setbacks, providing enough area for a truck, and having the building closer to the train tracks where it'll be less of a smell to the person that potentially is going to be 25 feet away from it. That's just my opinion on it. I think you guys should think long and hard about it. If it's a cost savings thing, this is going to be a shared cost between everybody. So it's a minimal amount of money, in my opinion, to potentially move it a little bit further down for what you're going to gain out of having this be somebody's new neighbor.
Could I address the commission on a couple of things that Michael just said? This is Kurt Mailman.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So I just wanted to clarify, there won't be any wastewater on the site. So there'll be no opportunity for any smell. Okay. That's the chemical feed solution is odorless. So, that's not going to be a source of odors at that site. The other thing is that we were trying to be considerate of the association who owns the property and their long-term use of that property. And by moving the Bioxide system and running a bunch of pipes across, it may hinder their ability to utilize the site for other activities, like, for basketball or volleyball or any other types of recreational activities if we move it and further encumber the site. So that was a consideration. Plus, it made sense because it's the shortest run of pipe out to where the force main was.
All right, so you're telling me that if they had a basketball court there, that this sewer pipe can't go underneath it, but it can go underneath the street?
Not at all. No.
Okay. All right. So you're leaving open the mixed bag, or they can potentially do other uses, but the uses that you prescribed didn't seem like that sewer line would stop those uses potentially. But if it's a dwelling or a structure that's going to go in that space, then I could see that causing a conflict for it. That's just my thought. Any of my other commission members here have any feedback on this?
Well, I feel the same way as you do. But they could try harder to make it less of I don't think it's going to smell, but it is very close to the property line, and it could be moved somewhat and screened so that it just doesn't have an impact on them. It just seems too close.
If I might address the commission, this is Bill McCoy. I would suggest to you that screening, given the use that we're talking about here, which are buildings that are going to house the Bioxide equipment and a shed for purposes of storing equipment for the beach association, that moving it around on the lot, and I appreciate the concern that you have for the neighbors, but moving around on the lot, I don't know that changes in any real way what the use of the lot is going to be, which is two buildings, one being a storage shed and one being an enclosed Bioxide plant that for most purposes is not going to be visible to anyone, including the people living in the homes.
Well, it's definitely going to be visible because the fence that you show in the illustration doesn't even go above the roof line. Not that that's an ugly structure. It's a shed. I mean, a shed's a shed, and there's already a shed there. But I just feel really strongly in this, I guess, that the location could be better suited on the site somewhere else. That's just my, I don't know. That's just where I'm gathering a couple other my commission members might feel as well. I think some work needs to be done on that. That's just my personal opinion.
And I appreciate your questions, but understand one of the reasons why the fence is the height it's at is because there were objections to the height of the fence that was originally proposed. So it was cut in order to meet those objections. And I think, again, we take these comments to heart, and Mr. Mailman is going to be providing additional information the next time we meet. But sometimes moving things around is not necessarily an improvement. So I would ask you to keep your minds open on that issue.
Sounds good.
I had an additional comment for the turning templates, specifically the emergency vehicles. If the fire marshal has weighed in, Well, obviously not because they haven't been run yet. But if that could be provided, as well as if we could see for, maybe the next submission, a plan that just has the radius of the adjacent properties with their wells, that 75 foot for all of them.
And Mr. Millan, and I'm gonna personally, I think you guys, this is just me speaking here. I want to see almost another site plan, not a site plan per se, but another illustration showing what this whole thing will look like on the opposite side of the field here. I'm really struggling with it, and I don't want you guys to waste a bunch of time and money going down a trail where you might not be getting the support you need. I don't know if it's realistic to put some sort of schematic or plan together showing.
Mike?
No, not yet. A little bit longer. Yeah, that's kind of what I'd like to see out of you guys for the next meeting, if that's possible. Like I said, it could be a simple illustration just showing it, but looking at the GIS map, looking at knowing where the site is, that's just what I'd like to see personally. I don't know how my other members feel, but that's just me.
Well, this is Jim Otis. We submitted an application for review by town staff and by the commission. And so, we'll answer your questions as opposed to submitting a new application. I think we'll answer the question and show you the truck turning template for what we're proposing. I do have a truck turning template plan, which will show the turning radius of the truck and how much room it needs, and we can certainly provide that to town staff for the application that's before the commission.
Yeah, I wasn't insinuating another new application per se. I was just saying maybe an illustration. But okay, that works. I'll look forward to that truck template to answer all my questions.
I think if need be, if the commission decided a new application or not, if the new location would be acceptable to them and this current location is not, we simply would just amend the application with the updated drawing.
I would agree to that. Seems a lot more time saving. Anyone else? I think I don't know where our
Alan, you there? Where's Alan at? All right, I'm gonna unmute everyone because Alan may be muted. So just bear with me on this one. Okay, hold on one second, everybody. I'm gonna unmute everybody. Alan, you gotta unmute yourself. Jane, do you have any insight on what we should do since the acting chairman seems to be unable to communicate with us right now?
I would appoint an interim chairman.
Well, also what we're doing is now, if all the commission members have finished answering their question, you could ask them that, Dan. If they are, then we could ask for public comment.
Right.
Okay, I'm willing to do that. I've not run into this one before. Okay. I don't know. Would the commission want to appoint an acting chairperson for the time being to take in some public comment?
Sure. Why don't we?
like Jane Gable.
Yeah, Jane Cable. She knows just how to do it.
She has some.
I don't know.
Let her have another run before her time's up.
I'll have to scratch my memory. All right. I know there are members of the audience who have something to say, and Mr. Maluzzo's hand has been up for an hour and a half plus. So Dennis, why don't you say what's on your mind? And please identify yourself for the record and give your address.
Hi, Dennis Maluzzo, 7 Portland Avenue. I also represent the View Sewer Coalition. I can fix this thing in one fell swoop, and it won't hinder any resident at all. All they have to do is move the Bioxide storage shed to the corner of 156 and Soundview Avenue, next to the police station, which is town property. It's the shortest distance to the sewer main. It's across the street. It's not down Gorton Avenue, which is a lengthy street. Not as long as Hartford Avenue is, but it's the shortest distance. It's town property. It's being occupied right now by Connecticut Water for the water distribution that's to be completed by December 31st of this year. They can put a curb cut in on Soundview Avenue. It abuts the police station. That is a big piece of property. The closest resident is north of that property. They can put one shed, they could put a fence, they could do whatever they want, and it'll probably cost less to the member beaches, of which unfortunately Soundview is part of. And that would alleviate the problem with 303 Gorton Avenue, 310 Gorton Avenue, 306 Gorton Avenue. Gorton Avenue is a town road, so it's not part of Old Lyme Shores, and it's not part of Old Colony. The parcel of land would be directly across the street from Old Colony Road, which is a member beach association. Suggestion. I also have a question for Mr. Otis. In the Old Lyme Shores plan is stormwater retention. Where is this stormwater going? Is it going into the sewer system, or is it going into Long Island Sound? If it goes into the sewer system, look at what happened at the MDC in Hartford and West Hartford and the $3 billion project that they have to do to separate stormwater from sewage. No one's mentioning that fact, where it's going to go. If it ends in Long Island Sound, then there's a case of nitrate pollution.
I think we're a little off the subject, Dennis. I understand your concern, but we're dealing with this Bioxide.
And that's the reason why I mentioned next to the police station.
What is Connecticut Water doing there exactly?
They were mandated by the state of Connecticut, PURA, to finish a water distribution system that they were supposed to do in 1984. I was instrumental in getting PURA to have them complete it by December 31st of this year, 30 years plus later. And they're mandated to finish by December 31st. Okay. So that property, which was lent out by the town, and I see Mary Jo here too, was to facilitate them parking their vehicles and supplies that they needed to finish the construction.
Gotcha. Okay,
And
thank you.
that's where I'm suggesting that the Bioxide plant go.
Thank you. All right.
Madam Chairperson, can I respond to that very quickly? This is Bill McCoy. One of the problems with that presentation is that the applicant has no control over that property. That's not property that we own or control. And in fact, the present arrangement is that the town is leasing that property on a temporary basis for staging purposes.
To Connecticut Water.
And so the notion that somehow we can just sort of walk in there and plunk something down there legally is not accurate. And that's not a property that's available to us as the applicant for purposes of siting at that location. So I
don't think Mr. Maluso was saying walk in and plunk it down. I think he was saying consider it very strongly as an alternative site. Right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. I see Mr. Reynolds, who's been waiting as long as Mr. Maluso. After that comes Bill. Okay, Mr. Reynolds. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
There you go.
How's that? Am I covered?
Okay, name and address.
My name's Jack Reynolds. I live at 41 Salt Air Drive in Old Lyme Shores with my wife Ann, who's roaming around here too and may want to say something to all of you. I appreciate you having the open hearing and the comments that you've all made. Appreciate the comments of Jim Otis and Kurt, as well as attorney Bill McCoy. This is serious. You know, you've heard mostly tonight, except from Dennis, who I couldn't agree with more, all the good reasons to do this. Of the whole project, the thing that we would like you to do is to deny permission to put that Bioxide plant in that location. It's the conditions on that street right now, and we own, my family owns 306 Gorton. My son Bill, who is up next, I guess, or sometime.
That's Bill.
That's Bill, and he lives, and he lives there. Yes. The conditions right now, and Dan has been wonderful coming over and watching and regulating it, are atrocious. There's 3 houses there that are going through holy heck for 2.5 to 3 years during the staging. And I know this isn't the topic tonight, the staging. The topic is the Bioxide. The staging is likely there until, at least it's projected, that the sewer project ends in August of 2022. That's unbelievable, the conditions they have to live in. Of the 3 houses, there are people with severe health conditions. Right now, if they ever had trouble turning a small truck around at the end of the street, you'd better believe they'd have a terrible time turning an ambulance around at the end of that street right now, tonight. The trucks that are there are atrocious, and I think that should be stopped. But beside that, while all the good reasons to do it, it isn't good. It's a terrible place to put it. If you're 25 feet from a guy's bedroom window, feature where the fence is, he's going to get to look out at a plastic fence outside his window. It's atrocious, and I really, really appreciate the aggressiveness of all of the panel members in their questioning, and especially Mr. Barnes, who I've never met. But I think you're absolutely right. That location is unbelievable. If it could be put at the police station, if it's a 12 by 14 foot building, it's a small facility. Kurt Mailman told us at the selectmen's meeting that they don't even need a shed. Well, granted, you put it in a shed. You don't need the 20-foot recreation shed, and you sure don't need a paved lot and a fence that's going all around it. Right across the street is where my son lives. That fence is to go right along the road line. That's just an atrocious appearance. This is a zoning issue. I have to bring up the bit that Bill McCoy mentioned about the deed. He has issued an opinion, a legal opinion, that the deed doesn't carry water. That the fact that the people who donated the land in 1952 and the real estate people that handled the deal aren't there any longer. We have two other legal opinions from two separate times and places when I was on the Board of Governors that said absolutely that deed is firm. I know it's not the town's position to administer deed restrictions, but as someone on the panel said, it's also not the zoning commission's role to break the deed restriction when you're not certain whether it could be reversed. I think
That
it could
was
be reversed.
me.
I know it was, and I appreciated the comment very much because
Well, you should submit your legal opinions if you want them part of the record.
they were years ago, Jane. The fact is, when I was
That's okay. Good lawyers are good
Okay.
lawyers.
Okay, you think they still have their records because I think I know who they all are. And I'd be happy to have them submit it, or maybe your town attorney can say it, but we've got the deed. And it certainly, there's no question what the people wanted that donated the land. It was limited and said that if it was ever sold, the deed restrictions had to go with it. Recreation purposes, period, and it could not be changed. Okay, whether it can be changed or not is a legal thing. But the zoning is just atrocious. To think that this small residential area with 3 houses will suddenly have this monstrosity, especially the fence, which is hard to believe that does anybody realize that having a fence increases the likelihood of vandalism? Once you get inside the fence, you could do anything. Put the shed out like most of us have sheds in our yard. Where it goes, I couldn't agree with Dennis more. I think it could go at the police station. I think it could go across the road at the huge staging area across from the police station and the church. There are loads of places that would be better. They're the north side of 156. If it has to go on that lot, it could certainly be closer to the railroad tracks and not next to houses. One way,
Thank you.
our plea is for you to please reject the location that's proposed.
We got the message. Is number 11, Alan? Are you back? Nah. Alan, are you there? Huh, I tried. Okay, Bill is
Jane, I
listening.
just realized something. I think when we sat Maria, I think Maria is now the 6th member of the board that we sat, because it's you, Jane, Michael. Well, I guess it's good Maria's on because Alan's off, and then Tammy. So Maria would have been 6.
Tammy has missed too much of the
I'm on here.
proceedings. Tammy,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because
Tammy would have to listen to the tape of what's gone on before to participate in that vote. But yes, she can step in now.
Okay, maybe next meeting, if she can listen to the beginning of the meeting, she can step in for you.
Right. Now, Bill is gone, and I don't see a picture of anybody else who wants to speak, so...
Hello, this is Bill Randazzo. I'm on the phone. Should I talk?
Talk.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, there's another Bill that wants to talk too.
Well, you're next. He beat you. Okay, name and address.
The older one can go first.
Okay, thank you, Bill. And anyways, I got to tell you, I'm extremely surprised with this presentation by everybody tonight. I think the board asked some great questions. I think.
Okay, well, name and address.
Oh, my name is Bill Randazzo. I'm on 40 Sea Spray Road.
Thank you, Mr. Randazzo.
You're very welcome. But anyways, like I was saying, it was great to hear all you guys tonight. I think the people on this committee asked some great questions. I think the last presenter there, Jack, actually did a great job explaining what's going on. And most importantly, the gentleman from Portland Avenue who said something about the police station where it should be, I think is a great spot. You know, it's right on the main line, and what he said was absolutely right. I've been talking about that forever, but I seem to fall upon deaf ears. You know, going a little bit farther on what Mr. Reynolds talked about the property down there, remember that's a recreation area, and it was supposed to be for the kids. My kids 10, 15 years ago, I used to be down there playing baseball with them and everything else, and we had a great time. And the basketball court at that time was in pretty decent shape. We used to play basketball there. I'm about to have grandchildren. I would like to use that facility down there with my kids like it was supposed to be. It was never supposed to be, you know, rezoned to an industrial area. It's a residential area where the kids were supposed to play. And if we put a chemical plant down there, I don't know about any of you guys. You know, I heard you guys, everybody talk about this chemical plant, this and that, but I also heard them outlining all these safety procedures of what's taking place to protect everything. So by hearing that and tell me how safe it is, I'm not sure if I would have my kids down there doing anything with those chemicals around, or my grandchildren. And I think that's the most important thing. It was never supposed to be that way. I don't think anybody in the long term knows what this chemical can do. I mean, I looked it up online, and it says in a liquid form the chemical is stable. But when the chemical gets into a dry form, it's very ignitable and explosive, like a guy in Kennebunkport, Maine, when they used it up there for basically the same circumstances, blew himself up and died. So I guess you could tell his family that it's safe, but we all know it's not perfect. We all know a lot of this stuff. They told us cigarette smoking was safe. We all found out what happened on the road. I'm just trying to tell you, having my kids or any kids in the area that want to go down there for a recreational area, you just took it away from all of us. And getting back to what Mr. Reynolds talked about with the deed is, you know, as a member of this association, I don't remember at any time, and I could be wrong, that we had a board meeting where the membership here actually voted to have that approved. So I'm concerned that way too. All right, and I guess the other thing is it's you know, I do know a few of the people that live in that street over there, and they're very nice people. And if you turn that, I know the Reynolds house just got procured, you know, and so the family owns that. And I don't think when they bought that, they were under the illusion that an industrial plant was going to be across the street from them. So let me ask one question, if anybody's in the real estate business. Would the value of their properties go down or go up because of that? And if they go down, how are all of our associations going to reimburse them for what they're going to lose on the price of their house? You know? And I guess that's enough I can say right now. I'm totally against that. There's got to be other areas. How about up the road a little bit farther on 156 before you get to Hatches Point? There's a bunch of land right in there. I don't understand why we haven't looked at that. So far in this whole presentation, all I've heard is that the people who were doing this looked at two spots, one over an old colony and this spot here. So it doesn't sound like in the last few years anybody has looked at any alternative spots except for here. I guess I'll close with please do not vote for this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Randazzo. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Who's next?
Billy Reynolds.
No.
You muted me again, huh? Hello?
I'm looking for someone who hasn't spoken, who wants to talk.
Oh, Bill, we can hear you.
Oh, Billy Reynolds. I live at 306 Gordon Ave.
Okay.
Right directly across the street where the Bioxide is going to go. I don't know if anyone knows what the town has put me through, Connecticut Water has put me through, and Old Lyme Shores has put me through. This street rocks all day long. It's like a nonstop earthquake. I have 15, 20 vehicles that dump, shift, beep, dust, everything all day long for the last 8 months.
Okay, but this is not Connecticut Water Company. I know you're housebound.
I understand. But
I know
it seems like, Jane, thank you so much for everything. It just seems like they think Old Lyme Shores thinks that this is the dumping ground for everything that they don't care about. No one seems to care about this rec field. They don't care about these 3 houses in the town property. They don't care about us. And they sit there and laugh. They sit here all day long. Even the truck drivers just kind of say, we can't believe we're doing this in this small little dead-end street. The fence guys can't believe they're doing it. The zoning commission, I believe, was set up to protect people, town people, from people just breaking the law right in front of your face.
What do you mean?
Are you still there? It makes me so sad. I spent my whole summer in the basement with earmuffs on because my house was shaking all summer long. My neighbor who has disabilities, she just had to drive away. How the town could allow this to happen and then go further with it to put a thing next to the guy's bedroom is unheard of. I just hope everybody thinks about it and knows how sad we are and how we all we want to do is sit here and hug and cry. That's where this has brought us to. No, I'm dead serious. We just sit here and we just cry every day and saying, "Oh my God, 4:30, thank God they're gone. Oh God, it's 5 o'clock, thank God they're gone." And we can finally enjoy our yard for 2 hours. When all these summer, I don't want to call them summer people, but they're all gone. They're gonna show pictures of people ice skating. I'm gonna show a god darn junkyard in my front yard with machines shaking dirt and slamming and banging and beeping all day long and all night long. It's not fair to a resident of Old Lyme. It wouldn't happen anywhere else in this town.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you. Well,
I have 8 months of anxiety built up.
Thank you. Nobody has brought up that most of us.
Well, I really appreciate all the other members that have stood up and said that it's not fair. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you. Most of us are on house arrest, so any disturbance we can't escape very easily. And I would hope the applicant keeps that in mind as well. Is there anybody else who is queued up to say something, or can I turn this back to Alan or Paul if they're here? And they're not. How did this happen to me? How could this happen? All right, so I will take a motion to continue the public hearing to the next meeting.
I will.
Who was that, Jane?
I'll move that we continue the public hearing to the next regular meeting.
Do I have a, thank you, Katie. I have a second from Katie. Or Michael, unless Katie's not a voting member. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Done. Now, somebody find Paul Ortho before I explode.
You won't explode. I'm here.
Thank you.
Hey, could you just tell me who motioned that and seconded? I was trying to be on the phone with Alan and get him back on the call. Who made the motion?
I did, Jane.
Okay. Who seconded it?
I think Michael.
Katie did. Katie, then Michael.
Katie.
Michael.
I seconded it.
Continue.
But we have a third for protection. Michael.
Okay, I spoke with Alan. He's been trying to call back in. He got caught and got muted, so I asked him to call back in again, and I'm going to try to unmute him. So I don't know if you want to move on without him at this point until I can try to figure out how to unmute him. It's up to you guys.
He's muted.
He called in on the phone, and if you want to unmute on the phone, you have to hit like *6. So I'm not sure if he's just. I'm not sure what's going on for sure.
Okay, so let's regroup here, and until we can get him back on, let's regroup and see where our voting members are and who's where here. So I see Jane Cable, Jane Marsh. There's two. Tammy, I'm not sure Tammy can join us at this point for the item with the 5-foot fence. So Tammy, I'm going to hold you off for right now. Katie, you've been on.
Alan, you there? Alan, did you call in, Alan?
I did. I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Alan's there.
All right. So let's get back. So we have Jane Cable, Jane Marsh. We have Alan Todd, and Katie, I guess, was already sitting in.
Michael was speaking for the right
And you.
Well,
you.
Well, I'm back now for the continuation of the agenda. So we have 4 out of 5. Who's 5? Is it still going to be Katie?
No, it was Michael.
It was Michael.
Michael, yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, it'll be Michael.
Okay, so Michael's back in. So those are the 5 voting members. Okay, with the public hearings now over with, I'm assuming, let's move on to the regular meeting. Item on the regular meeting is to the special permit application to permit installation of a 5-foot fence around propane tanks where a 4-foot fence is the maximum height on property located at 20. There's a lot of feedback. If you could please mute yourselves.
Yeah, I took care of it. I got him.
Okay, thank you. Where a 4-foot fence is the maximum height on property located at 21 Townwoods Road. Peter Van June III is the applicant. Okay, considering that this applicant has already been to the ZBA, and there's a confirmed hardship covering with the only location for those tanks in where they put them, which is in the front. I don't see any problem with allowing this 5-foot fence to make it more appealing. Does any of the other members have any comments?
No, I'll actually make the motion to approve it.
Okay, thank you, Jane.
I'll second.
Alan, I'm sorry, Jane has made the motion. Mr. Barnes has seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention?
Mhm.
Okay. The special permit application is approved. Moving to the second agenda item, special permit application to permit proposed field improvement, which will modify the playing geometry and playing surface from manicured lawn to synthetic turf at the Lime Old Lyme Regional High School located at 69 Lime Street. This public hearing was continued until we had Mr. Metcalf have a review of the application. And I believe we have his response now back.
Yes.
And he has provided a set of suggestions, comments, concerns. Do we have the
I should read the additional exhibits that we have.
okay.
Because yes, we got Mr. Metcalf's letter dated November 4th. That's Exhibit H. And then we have 2 other exhibits from Malone and McBroom. Exhibit IA is a letter dated November 9th that responds to Mr. Metcalf's review. And Exhibit IB, which is a revised set of plans, 9 pages, dated November 9th. which responds to his comments.
What are the
Okay.
time constraints for this? When do we have to close the public hearing? I've asked several times to have that on the agenda because we don't know what we can do now unless we know how long the public hearing has to stay open.
We have an extra 90 days to work with on any phase of the public hearing per the governor's executive order. And that is valid to February 2020.
Still the agendas should show what those dates are.
Well, it's all variable based, and then we have another 65 days as well of time that the applicant could request. So it's 135 days potentially that could extend any portion of the public hearing, whether open, closed, or decision.
They're not going to request. Yeah, they're not going to request more time. They want to get going on their project.
So then we would have 90 days without their request.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. So was that sent out, Dan, that 9-page? Because I don't seem to have it.
I sent that.
Yes.
I sent that out to everybody this afternoon.
I got it.
Okay.
I think.
Petition from, it was the letter and petition from the people on Gorton Ave and in the beach associations. It was the 9 pages and then the comments back from Malone and McBroom that I think basically went through each thing that Tom had suggested and provided a response.
Okay. Because we're operating remotely, I think you folks should insist that any submissions come in by the Thursday prior to your meeting. Something that comes in today that's a set of plans means drop everything and make it go to town hall to look at them. That's not fair to the commission members. I know the applicants will just have to accept it, and they're going to have to stop working down to the wire and get organized.
I would agree with that.
Malone and McBroom kind of responded as fast as they could.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom got them the comments on the 4th to us and them.
Well, then make Tom get his letters in earlier too. He's getting paid.
I certainly tried.
I think Tom had some personal issues that he was going through, and that kind of pushed him back on a couple of issues. One was, in fact, the sewer project, and the second one was this. So we did get him. Now Tom is not on right now. He was supposed to possibly be on, right, Dan?
I thought he had physical therapy at 6. My understanding was he was going to be on after that, but something must have come up. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I haven't, like I said, I did not look through that 9-page. I'm not comfortable without hearing from Tom about what the response was and whether it negates all of his concerns or not.
I have, since this is my last meeting, I'm going to go through my objections to Malone and McBroom's response. They have met his comments and said on a number of things, you give us our approval and then we'll add them. So that puts everything on Dan and takes it away from the zone. They should have their construction schedule with their plans now before they get approval. They should have the other items that Tom asked for now, not after approval.
I agree.
Yeah, there's at least 5 or 6 areas where they indicated that they either will complete or as part of their final construction documents, that they'll submit that. And I agree with Jane that this should be done beforehand and that there should be a plan in place.
I do too. Without reading it and without having Tom on the line, and I think he should be here also. I think to do this blindly is not correct.
Well, it's the old pig in a poke. You know, we don't know, you don't know what you're approving or denying unless you see the whole thing.
Right. And I don't want to approve with conditions. I'd want to hear just where we are and make conditions just minor.
And I recommend that everybody go to Katie's email and read that 38-page report that Malone and Broom did 12 years ago on the qualities of synthetic turf. It's really good and worth your time.
Very informative.
Yep.
Okay. So with that being said, I don't think we can move forward with this at this meeting.
I'll move that we continue. Have to. Forget it. No motion.
I'm sorry, Jane. Can you say that again? You cut out.
No motion. Just
we're not doing a public hearing.
Right.
So we just
We're
put
not
that to the next agenda when we get response.
Right.
Right. We're doing nothing.
So without having all the information, without it being complete, I think we should move this to next month, and hopefully we will get Tom on the meeting with us. We'll get a better look at his responses and how they respond with the engineering firm as well.
Maybe Dan could let them know that we're not happy that they're putting stuff off until we approve them.
I certainly will communicate your thoughts and your needs to them. It's just it's tough because we closed the public hearing, and now I wish they had a chance to respond. But I will make sure I tell Tom we need him on the meeting December 14th, both for this and I think as well. I think it would help for the sewer project.
Yes.
And yeah, okay. I will take care of that.
Okay. Speaking of the sewer project, then number 3, what, by not being here, what is the status of that?
Continued.
Continued? Okay. Okay, agenda item number 4.
Mr. Chairman, before you move along, do you know when that will be continued to? That is the sewer project. This is Bill McCoy.
Sewer project will be continued to the December 14th meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. I thought so. Thank you.
Okay. Item 4, special permit application and municipal coastal site plan review application to permit the use of the property for nonprofit and educational activities for the relocation of the Roger Torrey Peterson Estuary Center located at 100 Lime Street, Connecticut Audubon Society as applicant. We are looking to receive and set a public hearing for this special application. I will take a motion that we set the public hearing. How's our calendar look, Dan, for December? Oh, wait, we have a time restriction on this. So
yeah, it was requested that this could be heard.
Right. There's a purchase and closing time restriction on this. So I will take a motion, please, that we set the public hearing for this special permit application for the December 14th zoning commission meeting.
I so move it.
I'll
Ellen,
second.
second by Jane Marsh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, passes. Okay, zoning commission, new business. Where did I see approve? Oh, they're down here. Okay. So new business 2021 meeting zoning commission dates. Has everybody seen those?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
We're good with those?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I will take a motion that we approve the 2021 regular meeting dates.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All abstaining? Opposed? Abstaining?
Aye.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I interrupt, please?
Who is interrupting?
Aye. This is Attorney Michael Cronin.
Mike.
As you know, I'm an attorney over in Old Saybrook, and I'm representing the applicant, which is the Audubon Society, on item number 4.
Yes.
And I know it's not necessary for me to address the commission, but this is what we were looking for, the date to be set on the 14th. And we have as you know, a very serious time restriction on what appears to be potentially a great project. I just want to thank you, Commission, for taking that action.
Oh, our pleasure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Can we do a special meeting if they need it done sooner, or does it have to wait till that time frame because it's publicly announced?
Well,
Took a vote.
well, the idea is that you have the hearing that night, and if appropriate, and if everything is done the way it should have been done, you could act on it immediately. You would not have to have a special meeting. However, if there is information needed, additional information or concern, then certainly you could have a special meeting after that.
Gotcha.
As long as,
Gotcha. I was
as long
referring
as that decision is made before the end of the year.
Gotcha. I didn't know if you needed it sooner. That's what I was asking, but I'll be quiet now.
Yeah, I did have in the application a statement that it's important that we get a decision that night or very soon thereafter, which would mean a special meeting, certainly.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Cronin.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All right, I lost my agenda. So we have tabled the Coastal Resilience Adaptation Study, Hazard Mitigation Plan update. I believe that's an ongoing activity.
I can give a quick update on that if you want.
Oh, okay.
Are we talking we're talking the regional plan of hazard mitigation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we got a draft copy. We got asked for some edits. I went through it with the Fire Marshal Dave Roberge, and I reached out to any applicable people in town as to questions we might have had to that effect. So that's all submitted, and I believe that plan is out there for public comment, similar to our POCD, which will be out shortly, and then get approval through the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
So is that something that you've put for us so we can look at it?
It's available. It's the regions are doing it, and so they submitted comments from all agencies a while back. I believe Tim and Mary Jo were involved. I'm not sure, Mary Jo, were you involved in that?
You're muted still.
Muted.
There we go. There we go. I attended some of the online meetings for the regional plan, but I wasn't part of the committee.
Okay. Yeah, there wasn't so much a committee as just they asked for town feedback from staff.
Oh, I
It
volunteered.
wasn't brought to any particular commission.
But if we wanted to see what it says now, could you send it to us or to me anyway?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could absolutely request it. Yep.
So I haven't
Is there
seen.
any way that we? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overstep you, Jane. Is there any way we can implement like a Google Drive? Is that might be a more suitable way to share some of these files, like these larger ones that you guys couldn't, that you needed on a thumb drive or whatever? Like, I don't. Are we not?
We can certainly try and set that up if you'd like, and maybe have.
I mean, it just seems like a reasonable place we can go in.
Everyone needs.
All the files are there.
Yeah. Well, I will work with Michelle downstairs to set that up because you're looking at the IT people in town. So
Yeah, no, I'm not necessarily saying do you have to do it. I'm just because you got enough going on. I'm not looking for you. I'm just saying
it would be me. I'll be doing it.
Sorry.
There's no fishing that one out to anybody else. So
no, I mean,
I
don't.
Certainly can work.
I don't know if it's necessary or not. I just meant like I got the email about saying, hey, stop by for a thumb drive or something. That seems like more time consuming to have you stick it on a thumb drive than it is to potentially just have it in a download. I don't know.
No, I'll look into that. That's a good thought.
No worries. If not, I don't really care either way.
You know how to make friends, Mr. Barnes, that's for sure.
Just keep hammering away. Just hammer away.
Take your place. Okay, old business, electric charging stations. That's still old business.
I guess I got a quick update. Per my conversation with you, I'm reaching out to Matt Willis and just trying to pull some stuff together. Just very briefly, I haven't spent a ton of time on it, but just trying to pull together some other town regulations so we're not recreating the wheel or anything like this. I think
that's exactly what we want to do, right? Exactly.
So,
That's good.
Yeah, that'll certainly be, once I think we get through the sewer project and stuff, something, late winter in the spring, we can really, start getting moving on that.
Okay. Item 7, approval of the October 13th meeting, public hearing, and the regular meeting. Have we looked at that? Is there any correction? Accept as is? Okay, I'll take a motion that we approve the minutes of the October 13th,
Did we
2020
get
zoning
them?
commission.
Did we get them?
Yeah, I said I'm not sure we got them.
I don't have them.
I haven't seen
I
them.
apologize. We've had issues getting minutes
I could use
lately.
my crystal ball.
So me and Kim are trying to work with the lady who has done the minutes in prior years. For whatever reason, we've had some hold up in doing that. If I can't get a confirmation of whether the minutes are going to be done by this person promptly, we may have to find someone else, although it has been a difficulty historically, I've been told in town, to find people to clerk meetings. And that might be a larger discussion with the selectmen as to the pay of the clerks at this time. Because for whatever reason, it's a struggle because Kim Groves does the minutes. My colleague here in town hall, she does the minutes for wetlands and planning because we can't get someone to do them. So that may be
But Sue was only the clerk because she was the secretary of a 3 times past chair of zoning commission. She works at Electric Boat. I mean,
yeah, so I don't know if she wants to do them anymore.
I think we could probably find somebody.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm open to putting something in the paper, but if anybody looking to do minute type work, it's not just zoning.
Hey, Jane, it'd be a way for you to keep. Jane, it might be a way for you to stay involved.
I don't know. I don't know how to thank you enough for that.
I don't think Jane's hourly rate has ever been so low as what the minutes would be. I think as a lawyer, I don't know if the minutes are quite
How
up to her
about-
bar.
How about 0?
Well, I just thought because you loved it so much, I don't know. I feel like you're going to be very missed here, and you do a great job at what you've been doing.
Then you can do them, Michael. You might look beyond women for a clerk.
Good idea.
Okay, let's
I have had
move on.
male and female
Let's
clerks in
move
the past. I will take anybody that is competent, because as you know, they're important.
So the problem is they're not being transcribed.
Correct. As of right now, we are posting these WebEx videos on YouTube. If you'd like to YouTube Old Lyme Zoning Commission meetings, you can find our meetings. They'll be there in perpetuity now. It's kind of interesting. So that we have a good recording for someone to do the minutes from. It's like you said, transcribing them.
That's scary.
Oh yeah. I Googled it today. I didn't like seeing my face show up on YouTube.
Wow. Okay, well that one's on me. So correspondence. No correspondence? Dan?
No, none.
Okay. So anything miscellaneous? I have one. This is Miss Cable's last zoning commission meeting with us. She has been doing this since 2005. They had a zoning commission back then?
Time flies when you're having fun.
I guess. 2005, and yet chairman since 2010. Wow.
Wow.
We are going to miss you. I am going to miss you.
I'll miss you too.
You have been a tremendous mentor. You have been an inspiration.
And pain in the butt.
Well, that's how Jane, that's how you learn the most. And
By being a pain in the butt?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just, I can't thank you enough for all that I've learned, and I haven't learned anything. For the time I've been with you. It could go on and on and on. And so you might be off the picture, but you won't be off the radar. That's for sure. So,
you're off the hook.
Right. Personally,
Okay.
I want to thank you, and I want to wish you the best of luck. And
Thank you.
thank you for all that you've done. And anyone else on the commission that would like to say anything, we're open floor.
Money will do.
He will do.
I do want to say thank you because, and I don't want this to come off disrespectful or rude. My interaction with you at one time or another made me want to get more involved on the zoning commission. And now that I'm on it, I see the significant asset you are to the commission, and I'm concerned about you leaving. So with that in mind, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to step up to the plate. But at the same time, I see your knowledge is immense, and I know it's going to be missed on this commission, and the town's definitely going to miss it. So
Thank you. You have a new guy coming in who ought to be pretty good. So the commission has to change.
Okay.
All right. All donations cheerfully accepted.
Is there a forwarding address?
No. But
No.
can I make the motion that we adjourn? My last official act?
Wait. We have one more. I see. Looks like Mary Jo's coming out of her seat.
Uh-oh.
You're not going to get away that easy.
I move we adjourn.
Yeah, right. Nice try. I just want to thank the commission and Dan for giving me the opportunity to have a moment to thank Jane for all her years of generous service, not only to the zoning commission, but the town of Old Jane, you know, I've been a frequent flyer at your zoning commission meetings. And I have to thank you for your patience and your training. Again, you mentored me also on the importance of zoning and our regulations. I had no background, and thanks to you, I learned so much. I think with your logic, your legal expertise, and often your humor, you fairly led the zoning commission through issues big and small. You've left an extraordinary mark on the zoning commission and the town. Thank you for sharing your considerable time and talents with the town of Old Lyme so capably all these years. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. But I didn't beat Jane Marsh.
Oh, wait a
Who's
minute.
got the
Wait a minute. I forgot my
ultimate- Oh, that's the back of your Biden sign, right?
I don't tell people how I vote, Jane.
Thank you. Jane,
you know what?
Jane Marsh has set the threshold.
Well, set the threshold for idiocy, that's all.
Oh,
Hey, one idiot goes, there's one fewer. Come on. Join the retired idiots. I'm going on the ethics commission.
there
I
you
can't
go.
get enough torture.
Well, you know what they say. Now that you've retired, Jane Cable, what are you going to do next? Disney World?
Ethics. What else?
All right,
Jane,
Jane, thank you again.
Just a quick note, Jane, thank you so much for everything that you've taught me in this very short period of time on zoning. You've been huge in terms of, bringing me along and coaching me through this. So thank you so much, and we will definitely miss you.
The chance to meet you was worth it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Can I do
A chance
it?
to meet me.
Yes, as the final, Jane, I will take a motion.
I hereby move that we adjourn.
And a second.
We all second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'm assuming there's no one in opposition?
Right.
And no abstention.
Night, folks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Mary Jo, I will call you tomorrow about your email.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I just didn't get to it yet. I'm sorry.
You've had a few things on your plate. I understand.
Honestly, everything, the complaints are coming in fast and hot this week. So.
It's November. It's not a problem.
Everybody's at home watching their window. Their neighbors.
You can cross off the Google Drive. I really don't give a shit. I was just,
No, that's a good idea, though. That is a good idea, but it's on the list.
No, it's more time and effort. I'm not worried. You got other priorities. Good luck.
No, that would save time. You're right, because we can just share everything, and then I don't have to. I don't like to email at the town hall. You have to. It's not Microsoft Exchange. I'm not going to get into it, but it'd be a lot easier to do Google Drive and do groups to share and stuff. So, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. I got to go home and eat dinner.
All right, you guys have a good night.
See you.
Yeah, me too. See you.
Is that you, Bill?